Guys, Deluded Guna, YouTubes and Golo Kante. Fridays and Sundays is Q&A days. Thank you for all the questions, man. Well received from all of you. Bare questions from bare people, man. Like, yeah, what more can I say at this point? Like, thank you very much, man. I must be saying this week you lot have come hard, but it doesn't stop there. If I've missed it out, which I'm pretty sure I haven't, get in the comments with it again. Friday we go. A lot of questions here, man. Some I've reading through quickly before I started, put me on the spot. And it's going to be hard to do this, but enough rambling. Let's go on. Scott asks, my guy, he's back with another question. He actually said this 8 hours ago at the time of printing this. If we're being asset stripped, go and check the first vid, because he had a good question about this before. But if we're being asset stripped, then we won't replace anyone. We lose kind of by definition, but only a competitive Arsenal has market value. Does that mean that we have to win the Europa League or League Cup to add market value, as top four isn't likely to happen with Alexis and or Ozil leaving? P.S. Thanks for reading my question, lol, my guy. Good question. I mean, yeah, you said it yourself. I mean, Arsenal probably could afford to coast for a couple of years in this mediocrity, which we have been coasting along, and still reap the benefits, at least for the next 2 years, maybe 3, of these commercial benefits and the big brands. Then don't have to win an FA Cup and a League Cup and possibly Europa League, like you've said. But we've underachieved what the fans deem underachieving. We're still the 7th or 8th richest club. That's not going to change within the next 2-3 years unless a madness happens. So maybe not pressing yet, but it is going to get to that stage, and to a degree it's going to have to get to that stage where you maybe think Stan Kroenke walks away and someone else comes in and becomes involved. But you basically said it all in your question, man. I'm surprised you asked me, my bro, because you said it all. But thank you very much for your question. Biggs 014 asks, what's next for Wenger? Stay at Arsenal in a different position or coach somewhere else? Well, if he was to leave tomorrow... In fact, before I start, ironically, he said he's going to stay till 2019 playing that Wenger chess stuff. If he was to leave tomorrow, he'll probably go and coach somewhere else. I do believe Wenger is going to die in a coaching job, purely because that's the way he wants to go out. All he's known is football. Yes, he's got an economics degree and all of these things, but Fergie had horses. Some other people got some other joy. Wenger's football. So the job's going to retire him. He's not going to retire from the job. So you'd like to think he goes and coaches somewhere else. Personally, if it's up to me, you would have moved upstairs a long time ago. We need him upstairs, regardless of what people tell me. For all his shortcomings, we need someone like that upstairs, and Wenger's my don, so he can go upstairs. But yeah, that's it really, to be honest. There's not much more that could be done, man. I mean, it's all up to him. He's controlling his own destiny in the sense that as long as he keeps achieving mediocrity with Stan Kroenke, still gets this money. Stan's not going to care. He's going to look at it. From before I even got involved in Arsenal, Wenger was in the Champions League. He only got it once. From a business proposition or business point of view, one bad cycle when you've made profits in how many years? And if you're a businessman, you know bad cycles come. So you take the rough with the smooth in that aspect. So it's whatever he wants to do. You've also asked blue or red pill. Not sure what that means, bro. Hopefully blue's not a bookie thing and it's nothing dodgy and no eyeballs fall out if I pick blue. But I hope it means I'm rich in these things. Blue's my favourite colour, so I'm going to say blue. Yeah. You've got another question. Do we strip players of what they are good at? Heard an Arsenal fan point out how El Nene had better stats when he was at Basel for shooting because of where they played him. Brackets row, of course. That got me wondering about Xhaka. Do we know how to use players to the best of their ability? And I know the EPL is a different league to where he played, but should I... yeah, man, I messed up the rest of that question, but we've got enough of that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have no IQ to a degree. I've always told you guys, finding talent will never be a problem. Identifying talent won't be a problem. But it comes to systems. We've signed Ozil. For how many years could majority of us see that he's quality and amazing for us, but it wasn't evidently clear. We weren't getting the best out of him because of the system. You didn't get the defensive mids. Not that Ozil doesn't put in a shift defensively, but you know with Ozil to thrive, you need him in creative positions. With that being said, you want him further up the pitch. So now the other 9 players, well, 10 players, if including the keeper, you get what I'm trying to say, have to make up the defensive work. Wenger famously said that about Perez. With Perez, the other 10 men needed to do everything. So that's nothing against Ozil. You need to put him in a system to thrive. Xhaka, fair enough, at times at Gladbach he did venture forward, but primarily he was receiving the ball off the centre halves. Now he's there pressing. You see him one of the furthest men forward pressing. Between him being silly and between Wenger, that's a madness. Mustafi, you know he likes to get tight. Put him either coach the man or put him in a system where he can get tight and Xhaka or someone else fills in whenever he does these sort of things. You're completely correct on that. I do feel, and then he's lost a little bit of source since he's signing here as well. Not that he's ever been signed to write home about, but he was a bit, for me anyways, when he first signed, he was a tiny bit better going forward with a football, and he was a tiny bit better in the attacking sense, and he had a decent corner on him. I don't know what's gone on, but you're definitely right about that. I don't know what happens, man. Maybe when you just walk through the Emirates, a mad thing happens, and you lose all your sauce. But yeah, Jack Lyle asks this, shout out to you. Would you ever consider becoming a football agent? I mean, if you're trying to hire me, of course, bro, of course. I mean, I'd like to think, obviously, typically a lot of people that study law students go into that, but I mean, I'd like to think I'd have players' well-being at heart, their best interests at heart. I'm a good negotiator and these sort of things there. So if someone wants to throw me a bone, bust me, my guy. Good question. Clutch Artist asks, DG, do you think Marco Silva is ready as a replacement for Wenger? The two teams he's managed in the PL were struggling with players low on confidence, brackets much like Arsenal, and turned them very quickly into better sides. I mean, he's destined for a bigger club, whether it's Arsenal. I mean, I know we're not challengers for titles, and by that logic, you could say take a risk, let him have it. But I'm not too sure. He's done a madness at Olympiacos. He did his thing at Hull. Watford's having a bit of a wobble now, and the love story's not being spoken about as much now, but I definitely get you. I do think he's to step to go a higher level, a higher club, or elevate himself, as you're asking me. I do think he could definitely do that. If you're asking me as an Arsenal fan if I'd take him, my gut, because of the bias and because of the uncertainty, which was going to be uncertainty regardless, not even in regards to Arsenal, in regards to him as a manager, as much as I like him, I've got to say no. Maybe if he went to a slightly higher club or higher standing club and did a bit more, then I'd be more inclined. But as much as I like him, I wouldn't be screaming him for Arsenal yet, bro. But that's my opinion, and I'm wrong all the time, so yeah. Let's move on. RH Starman, my guy, asks, do you live on your own? No, man, I live with Mumsy, man. Sometimes I'll be making vids, I can hear her footsteps, and I think, what, did you guys hear that too? But yeah, man, yeah. If you want to buy me a house, come, man. You see mortgage rates. I mean, I'm going to need that housing market to crash to get a yard, man. But yeah, Gooner Man asks, big up DG. My guy, shout out to you, back. Got a question, my G. Who would improve our current squad? Just about anyone and their dog at this moment in time, my guy, man. I mean, have you seen us? I mean, Koulibaly, we'd never get him, but that's the first one that went to my head. A centre-half, a defensive midfielder, some presence in there, either the presence or someone that can pass the football forward like Santi Cazorla, a winger, whether that's Fekir, whether that's Mahrez, whether that's whoever you want. I need a winger there. We just need, there's several positions. Fullbacks, there's arguably, whether it's backup or first choice, there's question marks over them. The keeper, there's a question mark over the keeper. But if you're asking me what I could, if I could have just a couple off the top of my head, I don't know who, but a centre-half, bro, and a central midfielder of some sorts. We can't go without that. And a winger. So them three, to be honest with you. So to humour you, I'd say Mahrez has Fekir for the winger thing. In the midfield, it's a bit of a hard one. I'd take Nzonzi based on the links, and Nzonzi, of course. And my heart, it will never happen, but Koulibaly, man, Koulibaly of Napoli. So hopefully that answers your question. Hayden Jarvis asks, thoughts on Arsene Wenger's refusal to sell players and stick with Deadwood? Examples such as Welbs, who isn't good enough, if you ask me. Bro, I wish I had an answer for you, man. I wish I had an answer for you. He's carrying some players. I don't want to dig out Welbs. I think Welbs can be of some use. I won't lie to you. But I feel your pain. He puts players that haven't really got that techers or talent in elevated positions of importance. You've seen Theo and Giroud for years be put in positions of leading a team in that. Man, they shouldn't be in that. You looked across London, you saw Costa. You looked at United for years. They had however, man. It's not even the play. It's got to the point. It's not even the player's fault. It is Wenger's fault because he wants to do this purist thing. I wish I had an answer for you. Now, back in the days, he'd get away with this, but these Deadwood players are letting him down, and he does need to cut loose. And it was his demise last year. I wish I had an answer for you, bro, but I'm as baffed as you on that one. But great question, my G, man. Arsene Guna asks, hey, you heard the Ancelotti rumours? Would like to hear your thoughts on it. I mean, based on the fact that it will be a troubling period for a substantial amount of time when Wenger leaves, more so the first year. Carlo, he's not gonna be like Pep. He's never been like Pep. He typically works with what he has. He's not really one for styles and these things like that. He normally works with what he has. But I call him an emergency manager, and he is a world-class manager. He'll find the best players that we currently have. He'll get them playing. He seems to have a great relationship wherever club he goes. Regardless of how long he stays, the players seem to hold him in high regard. So I would be on Carlo Ancelotti. I mean, it's got to be said. There's question marks over his league titles and things like that. But I know we won't be in champs. But I mean, I'll be on Ancelotti. And for nothing else, at least he looks wavy in the pictures and that. Like when he's taking pictures, he looks like a serious mobster, and he looks like the money's talking on the phone. But I'd be up for that, man. So yeah, Jack Lyle again, my guy, man. What's your favourite sport outside football, and did you play anything else apart from football? Well, apart from the forced things you was forced to do in PE, the rounders, I didn't mind rounders. I don't like running. I weren't really with the athletic thing. I did 400 metres. I just tried not to come last, wavy thing. But I'd say boxing if I had to. If football didn't exist, I'd probably be be on a boxing thing or some sort of martial arts. Not really UFC. I watch UFC, but there's not really any sport I'd say that draws me in. I am starting to fall in love with NFL. Don't really know what's going on at this moment in time, but something just gasses me with the tactical approach with it, with how cerebral you got to be, with how many things are happening at the same time, and the coordination, and how intelligent the players must be to take several instructions and remember several plays. I'd love to somehow get that incorporated in football. Could you imagine knowing off by heart how many fullbacks knowing where to run, when to run, where you're playing, when they're gonna cross it and things? It's mad, bro. It's mad. But football has been my only love. I didn't play anything else outside of that apart from rounders and them things there you were forced to do, bro, and runouts. Like, yeah. Jason, my guy, asks which players come to mind when you think of bargain, ignoring the inflated fees at the moment? Mahrez, that's the only one going through my head. And Nzonzi, Koulibaly, Salah, at the moment in time for sure. This is mad. Things are coming like Matic, Gundogan, Fernandinho. Better things are coming to my head. I wish I sat down and thought about that question. That's a good question, bro. But they're the only ones coming to my... someone else just came to my head and escaped. The Roma keeper, he just left me. Torreira of Sampdoria, because I believe he'll be quality. Skriniar, Delight of Ajax. Malcolm, bang, we've been linked with him. That's a good question, man. That's a good question. You put me on the spot, man. You put me on the spot. That's a great question. Hopefully I've answered that. Tariq, amazing. Tariq, my guy, asks 3 interesting clubs I could do a save on with... let me start again. What am I doing? I'm moving like I can't read, folks. Can you give me 3 interesting clubs I could do a save with on Football Manager 2018 without getting bored? Napoli, Lyon, Dortmund. Lyon, the young players. Napoli can take them to the champs and the next level. And I don't know why Dortmund just seems like a good challenge. Or maybe Ajax or Southampton. Or take Barnet from League 2 to the thingy. Shout out to my guy. People don't know I love Barnet, you know. That's not my second team, Carl. There's only one team and one Arsenal's my love, but I'm a Barnet fan, isn't it? So, yeah. Hopefully that answers that question. You got another one. What's your favourite spread on toast? Butter, to be honest with you. But other than that, chocolate spread, maybe peanut butter. I'm not big on the jam and the marmalade. I hate all of that stuff, to be honest with you. How many trophies did you win in your playing career? I'd have to go downstairs and count, to be honest. Quite a lot. Like, it's only grassroots, but fairly decorated player. And I actually sometimes bring them in the mirror and stuff. And sometimes when I think about Alexis Sanchez leaving, I look at them and I'm like, alright, cool, that's why a man's busting out. But a decent amount, man. Decent amount, maybe like, I don't even put a number on it. Just a big... My mum was telling me to throw it away as well. Just a big box of trophies, man. And I've lost a couple as well. And I've got a couple newspaper articles I've lost. And a couple other things I would love to... my first hat-trick football's in my garden. And I've lost that as well. Well, it's not lost. It's that I can see it. That, like, when I go out in the window, it's next door, but it's messed up. So, yeah. Jacob asks, what did you think of Coquelin? I remember his peak. A lot of people rated him as a DM. Where do you stand? Well, Coquelin is my guy for the passion, man. I mean, he's never been world-class, top-class. But what he was is, on the basis of someone that just does their job, he did it. Big games he turned up to. I'll never forget Bayern Munich and City, and there's been in a couple other games, United as well. He saved us. I mean, I remember when we were happy that Flamini came. At least 2015, maybe late 2016, he done his thing. Ultimately... he hasn't really progressed, and for Coquelin, for me, could have just been a squad player, someone that you shut out games with, games that you don't expect to dominate, and you just want to win possession. You go into them sort of games with him. We could have done that. Ultimately, the man wanted first-team football. We need a bit more expansive football at the time. He actually brought a lot of balance to our side as well at a point. So I was sad to see him go, to be honest with you. He weren't really top class or nothing, but he was just someone I had a lot of time for. Did make a lot of errors, of course. He weren't perfect, but yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. Finally, well, final 2 questions. Rax17 asks, would you let Jack Wilshere keep 10 or give it to Ozil if he signs a new deal? Let Jack Wilshere keep the 10 and Ozil's going to have to continue with the 11. I know Ozil likes the 10, but if I take away Jack Wilshere's shirt, that means you don't believe in him, man. And your last question is, thoughts on Chambers' recent run? Well, he got ruined in the game the other day, but he came strong against Chelsea. It's all about adding consistency and the fine margins in games like that. He's doing his thing, and at least on the balance of things, if we look at the recent games he's played, for the large part, he deserves his chance in the team and his spot in the team. He just needs to keep going, to be honest with you. You know I've got a lot of time for Chambers and Holding, regardless of this whole talent and ability thing. But guys, Q&A is done. Yeah, man, get in the comments with your questions. Sorry for taking up all your time. I've got to answer all your questions. Get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest of it. DG, I'm out. Yeah.